Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie, channeling my OG Princess Leia Organa today for the month of May. May the 4th be with you. This is your May monthly reading for 2024. Today we'll be using a yummy Celtic cross spread. This is new. I haven't done this kind of reading before and they're turning out amazing, so I'm so excited. These are still general readings, so make sure to only take what resonates. In addition to your sun sign, check your moon, rising, and north node for additional context and texture. And you can also cross-watch for a friend or a loved one. If you're interested in a personal reading just for you, there's links in the description below. And for those of you who have been so lovely in making donations, thank you so much. Those links are also below. I am forever grateful for your support. You can also connect with me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Creators on the Crest. All right. The Leia wig's a little itchy, so I might have to itch from time to time, but we wanted to have a little fun today. And to me, Leia is a symbol of hope. And so I always like to elevate with my reading. So that's what we're going for today. We're going to start off with a card from the Sea Soul Journeys Oracle to kind of see what your vibe is, Saggy, for the month of May. What you got going? There it is, this one here. You got space. May your heart and your scope expand. All right, Saggy, maybe you have a little Jupiter energy playing into things here. Heart expansion, your scope, your viewpoint, your vision, your dreams, your journey expanding. I love that. You're very familiar with space and the stars and aiming at your targets and navigating through space. So I really like that. Really like that. All right. There's also a stillness to the card there. A little bit of a stillness kind of energy. So maybe it doesn't always have to feel, really jolty. It can be more peaceful. Okay, I'm going to pull the cards to lay out the spread, so give me just a moment and then we'll get into things here. Ooh. Okay. Okay, Saggy. Ooh. So anytime we're expanding our heart, our scope, our view, our perspective, it can be a very transformational process. And I am getting transformation here. It doesn't always look super easy, but it's not supposed to be. That's how we navigate. That's how we figure out which ways to move. There's also some really beautiful energies coming up here. So let's see what this is all about. You're starting off with the Magician. This is you working with the elements, probably in your element of fire, working with that quite nicely and feeling good, feeling like you kind of have the world at your fingertips. That expansion, you're expanding into your space. But this is crossed with a challenge of the Four of Pentacles. You may be feeling like, okay, well, here I am expanding my space, expanding myself, but the resources and the finances or my physical world hasn't quite caught up yet. And that's natural because it has to happen in the energetic before it can come into the physical. And I think it's causing you a little bit of maybe, just worry or a little bit of stress there. In your focus is the Seven of Wands. You have an awful lot coming at you right now, Saggy, and I think you're just trying to deal with everything as it comes. There's a lot of moving parts. You have your own internal fire and your own internal passion, yet at times it's going to feel like maybe things are against you. So some of that, your focus tends to be scattered at this time, is what I want to say. In the past, you get the Knight of Swords, and that's a very determined and fast-moving, forward-moving energy, very much charging toward things. And it looks like you might be leaving that behind a little bit. So maybe for the month of May, you're just going to slow things down, and or you've had a lot going on and something's going to You're going to kind of leave behind the real push, you know, the real big push. It doesn't mean you're not going to move. I think you're just going to move differently, because in your strength position, you get the Ace of Cups. And this can be an offer of love. This could be an offer of self-love to yourself, Saggy. You could be gifting yourself some space from all this. You could be taking a vacation, perhaps, for some of you. That would make sense with the heart and the scope expanding. You could be putting yourself in a different ecosystem, and that could be really beneficial for you. So, you know, this heart opening, you're offering love. I feel a really strong element of self-love here as well. In the future coming up, there may be a bit of a hermit mode. You get the hermit here, but I feel like this is appropriate. You could be going on a trip by yourself. You may just have a spa day. You might just have a walk in the woods. You know, this is you with your inner self, you with your intuition, you being introspective. The month of May looks like it's kind of leading you to that. And you're going to be, I like that you start out right now in the energy of the Magician, and then you get the Hermit in the future, because the Hermit is kind of like what I like to call, and what I'm seeing in your reading here, he's a leveled up magician. Okay, he's mastering things. And one of the biggest masteries that we can come to, Saggy, is the space within. You know, we're always, as humans, we're always looking up at the sky and the galaxy and the universe and everything like that. And we forget about the space that literally is in our cells. How much space is in between? Do you know how much empty space there is in your cells? Like, research that. It's freaking fascinating. As above, so below, as within, so without. That law of correspondence, you know, this is the kind of process that you're going through. And I think you're going to be spending time on the inside in the future. The advice, support, and help energy is the Nine of Cups. So this may mean, I know what this means for you, Sandy. I think what I'm seeing here is that you're putting very loving energy towards your thoughts. This is a wizard daydreaming here, and he's kicking back, and he's allowing himself or herself to imagine the possibilities, to be able to see where you want to be and then bring it into the now. We do that by daydreaming. That's manifestation. You are working on seeing a bigger picture, and maybe this has to do with that scope expansion. You're working on seeing it now. You're working on realizing it now, so that will help ground in these energies. For your ecosystem, your environment, you get the High Priestess. So far, I do feel a little hesitation here. I don't know if maybe you're feeling like maybe you're not in the right environment, you're not in the right ecosystem quite yet. There's questions here, there's hesitation in this High Priestess. She's extremely wise. She's extremely balanced in thought and action. But there is this, should I pass through the portal? This is like you as the High Priestess herself, and nobody's showing up for you to, you know, teach about the veil behind you. So you're thinking, well, maybe I need to make the move. And there, again, I did pick up that some of you might be going on a vacation or something like that. You might just be taking some time. I think this has to do with it, and a change of ecosystem somehow is probably going to help you. In your hopes and fears, you get the Ten of Wands. Ooh. It's like, on one hand, you completely trust and know your capacity to hold a lot of thoughts and a lot of emotion and alchemize that with your fire element and everything. But on the other hand, there's a bit of nervousness around, is this going to be too much? Am I taking on too much? Have I taken on too much? And if I try to change something, is it going to be even worse? So it's kind of like this fear of like passing the burden around on yourself. And and you're kind of mixed there. It's kind of a mixed bag feeling there, where on the one hand you trust yourself and you know your capacity, and on the other hand you're like experiencing some sort of fear maybe around burdens, but we'll clarify. And in the outcome you get the Death card. This is beautiful, in this case fiery transformation for you. And the Death card, oftentimes we relate it to an ending, but it burns away the things that are no longer needed so we can have that new beginning, right? Let's look at this Magician. Do you agree, Blaze? Thank you. He agrees. He's over there on a snuggie bed. I'm going to try to figure out how I can get him in the videos. I need like a little doggy tree or something. If he was a cat, it'd be pretty easy, but I don't know how I'm going to get you in these readings. All right, for the Magician, so that's how you're showing up. You get the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Saggy, I get the sensation and the feeling like lately maybe you've had to make some decisions or choices that, you know, you just didn't want to have to make. You didn't want to have to deal with them. It's interesting. It's coming up for some other signs too, where choice and decision is kind of a thing, and it feels unsteady. There's kind of this maybe unstable energy in your field of like, you're really trying to figure out, okay, what do I take with me? And part of me wants to run away from this decision or run away from having to have these responsibilities or these choices. But part of me is looking back and facing them, you know, and it's kind of that weeble wobble, that weeble wobble of like, I don't know how I feel about this, about what's going on. For some of you, this could be a change in jobs or something that would change your finances, because your challenge is this Four of Pentacles. So I'm getting a very practical world kind of change. Some of you might be selling a business. Some of you might be considering cashing in on some investments. These are the kind of decisions I'm talking about. Changing jobs. Whoa, this is sticky energy, this Four of Pentacles, the Hanged Man and the Queen of Swords. All right, so this is going to be Saggy, where you're kind of walking the tightrope, okay? So you've got the Hanged Man, which is, in this case, a beautiful energy. You are working on blending in a new perspective here. You're working on trying to find that beautiful balance between, you know, trusting yourself and taking a risk. Between standing your ground and being flexible. These are the kind of energies that you are challenged with here. What are you willing to, you know, to what lengths are you willing to go, and where are your boundaries? These are some of the questions. Maybe grab your journal and write those down. Rewind and write those down. Because this is what I'm seeing here. And I think because your focus is so scattered right now, it's going to be a little challenging to, maybe for a little while, for this month, you might be working on kind of trying to map everything out. In fact, I almost get like you looking at a map, or you working on mapping something out. I'm not sure you'll take action toward it quite yet, but starting to map something out, because where you're at right now, there's too many variables up in the air for your liking. In your focus, you had that Seven of Wands, so a lot of stuff coming at you, right? You may be trying to focus and having trouble focusing on what you really want to focus. You get the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, which tells me you want to nurture a more calm environment, whether it be at home or wherever you're working, or if you're working remotely. There's something that you're hoping comes together, but yet you can't put your finger on it. There's still this element of change. Things are still in motion, okay? And sometimes it's hard to trust in the times where everything is swirling and floating around. But that That's where you're at. But you are attempting to nurture the stable elements of your life when you see them, when you find them, and maybe ground further into those, because you want to expand those energies into the other areas of your life that do not feel so stable. Some of you could have the challenge of you just have so many, and this would depend on your personality type, but you have so many things you could do. You have so many directions. You're like, there's not just one niche, you know, there's more than one thing going on. It feels like, and that could be, you know, sometimes people say, well, that's a good problem to have. Might be a good problem to have, but it can cause a lot of that feeling of I'm walking on the tightrope, or I'm free falling and all these energies are spinning around me and I don't know. I'm looking for that, where I can nurture that stability. What's one thing that's stable in my life that feels good? Let's look at this Knight of Swords in the past. You get the King of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. This actually, to me, shows me that you're looking to stabilize energies or stabilize your life more. I feel there's been times in your life where you have been more stabilized, and you kind of look back at those like, well, I did this before. For some of you, this could be elements where you were at your ideal weight and body shape and everything, and you were at it before, but that was in the past, and you want to do it again, but kind of bring it into the new you. Again, you're showing me that right now you've got things going on all around, and back then I feel like you had a lot of things going on. And the nice thing about what I'm seeing in the past is I don't think you got stuck in this energy for too long. And there's a lot of reflection here. I keep getting drawn back to the past. Like maybe there's something you do need to look at, an element of your capabilities, of something you have done, of an acknowledgement, of an award, of the results of something that you did that maybe you need to go back and grab it. And I'm not saying you need to go back and stay there, but maybe you need to run and like grab it, like you're rescuing a little hobbit from the Uruk-hai or something. Sorry, I had to do a Lord of the Rings reference. You're like the rebels. You're going in to save, to extract Luke Skywalker from Cloud City. You got to go back and grab him. Go back, grab him, and get out again. There's something in your past that needs to be retrieved. All right, let's look at this strength, this Ace of Cups. This new self-love for yourself, clarified by the King of Swords and the King of Cups. That's a hell of a lot of determination to love yourself, and that's a hell of a lot of natural ability to do it too. I feel like you are really in a place of honoring and respecting yourself, your time, your energy. Even though you may be in this kind of environment, or you're faced with these energies where others don't understand that. But you're dedicated to it, and that's what's important. You have two kings here. That's mastery of the mind, the communication, the mental elements, and it's mastery of the heart. So to me, this is set in. This is very strong energy, and this will help with your expansion. Let's look at this Hermit in the future. I feel good about your strength, and I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Okay, the Hermit is clarified by the Eight of Wands, which, do we have that? No, we didn't have that somewhere else, did we? We had the Seven Wands. Clarified by the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Yeah, so here you are in the future, moving quickly into yourself. There's something within yourself that's connected to this self-love that you're going to be expanding. And then when you move, when you act, you're going to act accordingly in alignment with this new level of self-love and self-understanding and just raw strength. For some of you, this is like, you might lift weights, and this is a weightlifting program, and then you've achieved some goals here. You're coming in to yourself with your own organic natural energies quickly in the future. So it's interesting. You have this hermit experience where you're turning inward, and then this self-love that you're doing here is the key. Self-love is the key here. 100% the key. All right. Advice. You had that 9 of Cups, the daydreaming element, the envisioning, the manifestation, clarified by the Knight of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords. This is tricky for you. You have thoughts that creep in. You have these little sneaky kind of things that cause you, and they are very subconscious. You have some subconscious stuff that is that's holding on, maybe getting in the way of some of you being able to fully envision this. And maybe it's even get alignment with the feeling of it. It doesn't even have to be envisioning it, okay? It doesn't even have to be visualizing. In fact, you might want to try something other than visualizing in this case. Visualizing or really being in the mental space may not do this. You may have to more align with the feeling. The Knight of Pentacles is slowing us down and saying, wait, do I have the right strategy here? Am I really going to go up into my head with this? And my answer is I don't think so. The advice here is to stay out of the mental space. So when you're thinking about what you want to manifest and you think about your goals, because you always have goals, Saggy, you're thinking about that. I want you to actually close your eyes, and I want you to move your body around, and I want you to feel the energy of it. I don't want you to think about, I'm going to earn a 6-figure salary, or, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I actually want you to just go within yourself with that hermit and go into your heart and then feel the feelings. Feel how it would feel to be 20 pounds lighter, to have 6 figures in your bank account. That kind of thing. So avoid the thoughts up here. You already have done that. And now it's time to bring the rest of your soul, body, and heart into alignment with the mind. All right, let's look at this ecosystem. The High Priestess. Remember I said she's like, should I go through the veil? I think so. Saggy, here you have the High Priestess clarified by the Judgment card and the 2 of Cups. I think it's time for you to go into the garden. So you yourself have achieved some level of wisdom that is allowing you here to have a break. Like I said, a change in ecosystem, it's going to help with the reflection. It's going to help you go back into the past and grab what you need to grab. There's a tool there that you're going to be grabbing. This has to do too with partnership or possibly love showing up if you change your ecosystem. You change your environment. Now, keep in mind, this could be something like just redecorating your home or moving the furniture around, I see for some of you a complete change of ecosystem, though. Like you're going to another area of the country or another country in the world, or there's some sort of vacation spot or something, and there seems to be love there. Maybe you are going away. For those of you in relationships, maybe you're planning a trip with your partner or will be traveling in May already. And that's an important part of your journey there. It's going to help you go enjoy some time in the garden. It's going to help you unplug. Let's look at this 10 of Wands in your hopes and fears. You get the Page of Cups and the 10 of Wands again. Saggy. I know. Okay, we think of you, you're the archer, and we think about the aerodynamics of an arrow, of the bow and arrow, and the lightness and the precision and the way that it moves through the air. And You're afraid maybe here that if you Saggy, maybe you're afraid that if you invest too much in this self-love, that's somehow going to burden you. If some of you could be ending significant partnerships possibly here, because with the High Priestess, we got the Judgment and the Two of Cups. That could be resolving a karmic situation. You could be taking a trip by yourself and you're making a decision about a relationship, perhaps. Interesting. So yeah, there's something connected to, if I offer my heart and my love to myself, maybe you feel like you're feeling guilty for leaving someone or cutting someone out of your life. This could even be a friendship that you're letting go, because it's been I don't know if it's always been a burden, but it's come into this place where it's a burden. And your hope is to really be able to offer whatever it is, love, or maybe even walk away from something in a manner of love without the burden of guilt. So look at what you might be feeling guilty about, something about your children, maybe for those of you who have kids. Like, if I spend more time and energy loving myself, I have a child and certainly they need love and attention, but also remember that you can find ways to creatively do that where your child then learns from you, because you are leading by example on how to take care of yourself. So it's not that you're neglecting them or burdening someone else with their care or anything like that. But that's your fear. Your fear is that I won't be able, I can't balance this out. It's such a burden. Like, I can't do this. But it's just a fear. And fears are meant to be faced. The outcome of the Death card is clarified by the Empress and the Page of Swords. Saggy, you're going through a transformation. Anytime we have expansion coming in, and again, these are, I don't know if I mentioned it before, so I said again, but Jupiter energies, expansion. Look at where your Jupiter placements are, Saggy. See what kind of, see the house placement and see the astrological sign. There might be something there for you. You're really meant to go through this transformation. This is actually a transformation that's supposed to be incredibly self-nurturing and put you in a better, more skilled place. And I also think it's going to ease some of the burdens that maybe you've picked up and carried in your mind for a long time. I don't know where I really land on cutting cords, but for some of you, you might be cutting cords somehow, or energetically cutting ties, or legally cutting ties, or doing something like that. That feels like it's a part of this whole process. But self-love, number one, the key here. Sagittarius, let's close off your reading with a card from the Starseeds Oracle. You got trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. So often, those who feel like they're here for a reason sense that time is running out, and they spend their life worrying that they might miss their moment. But the only way to miss your life or your moment is to spend your time worrying and worrying about missing it. It's never too late to answer a call, and you're never too old. The tides of your life are magnificently orchestrated to come in and out of perfect unison. Don't race ahead and ride a wave that was never meant for you. That will waste your time and energy. Everything has a season, and you're being called to trust the season you are in. Wow, Saggy, beautiful. Trust the timing on everything here, because I know this, I've felt this feeling for you for several months where you're just like, whoa, things feel so different. I'm not, where's my little normal Saggy energies? Where's my comfort zone? But you always come back around again. You're so extremely resilient. And I think sometimes you think you're just walking in like a 2D circle, like just, but you're actually on a spiral. And so you have to remember that. And again, a lot of what is going to bring you through this time of transformation and where you're working with these different energies is that self-love. May the force be with you, Saggy. I can't wait to see you next time.